Good evening, everyone. I'm Roxie Deer from the Wayne County Area Chamber of Commerce, and tonight's guest on Chamber Chat is Allison from INTERNnet. Welcome, Allison.
Hi, Roxie. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. I know it's virtual. I'd love to have you in studio, but we're doing the best we can, so thank you. So why don't we start? A lot of our guests, or a lot of our audience, probably don't know about INTERNnet. And why don't you start by telling them a little bit about it, what you do, what your goal is?
Yeah, so INTERNnet, we were created way back in 2001. We're a separate 501c3 managed by the State Chamber of Commerce. And really our ultimate goal is to be the catalyst for creating and strengthening high quality experiential learning opportunities. So we have our website, which is INTERNnet. It is completely free and it's an online matching marketplace that is only for internships and only for Indiana opportunities. So it's a really great way for employers to connect with students around the state. And we also have educators on there as well. So it's a great way to build relationships, find talent, and start or grow your internship program.
So one of the goals of our local chamber, the Wayne County Chamber, is to start increasing interns and internship opportunities. So we're working with the schools to make sure that they're connected to the businesses. Why do you think internships are so important?
Yeah, so internships are super important. And, there's the common things that people think about with internships that, interns, they help increase companies' productivity, bring in new perspectives for the company. But the main thing that I think all employers should be aware of is that internships are really the best way to create and strengthen your talent pipeline. So it's a great way to connect with local students, get them in, train them, expose them to your industry, to your company, and then, see them as a potential in the future, either a full-time hire or, continuing the internship program with them as well.
That's a great way to say, and I worked before my job at the chamber, I worked with college students, and a lot of times students come in and they have this perception of what they want to do, where they want to do it, how they want to do it. And 2 years into their college experience, they get an internship, they go do it, and they realize, ooh, I might be in the wrong career field for me. And their whole world shifts. And they're like, well, that was a bad internship. It actually was a great internship because you learned a valuable life lesson.
Yeah, that's what I tell students all the time is that internships, they're not only, teaching you about what you want to do, but you also can learn what you don't want to do as well. And, what types of industries you don't want to work for, or, even work environments. Some students get in and realize, hey, working for a large company just isn't for me. I'd much rather work for those small to medium-sized companies. And, I always tell them that that's a win. Even though if it wasn't the most, positive experience, you at least realize where you don't want to be.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of different sized businesses in our community. We have the mom and pop shops, we have middle-sized businesses, and we have large scale. Internships at all of those businesses look different. Where does a business even start in building an internship? They can't just bring somebody in. It takes a lot of work and how do you help with that?
Yeah, so I would say kind of the main thing to think about is try to think of gaps in your company where an intern can help provide additional assistance, whether it's in a specific department that could need a little bit more help, or if you have a project that you just haven't been able to get to. These are some really great opportunities for an intern to add. And once you have that project or that department or those tasks that the intern can fill in, start to build out an internship description. And then think about, who on your company would be a really great supervisor and or mentor for those interns as well. So I always tell employers the biggest difference between a part-time job and an internship is that interns really need someone along their side to provide that feedback, that training, that supervision along the way. So, once you have that internship description made, you've pinpointed someone that is going to be able to work alongside them, then you'd be ready to post. And one of the great things INTERNnet offers is we have our employer guide to internships. It's available at the bottom of our website. It's free for you to download, and it's full of tons of best practice information, There are blank forms that you can use to fill out to make an internship agreement, a description. So if you're starting from the ground up, that's a really great place to start.
We actually use the employer guide for our own interns in our office.
Oh, awesome.
We bring in high school interns as well as college interns, and we just want that content to be a little bit more built. It takes a lot of work off the employer side of it. You're not recreating the wheel here. It's already created for you, so use it as you can. So internships, are they paid? Are they unpaid? What works for businesses?
Yeah, so they can be either paid or unpaid. It's really important though. So on Indiana INTERNnet, about 80% of the opportunities posted on our site are paid experiences. And we always strongly encourage employers to pay their interns. There is an important thing that if you are a for-profit business considering doing an unpaid internship, you do have to be aware of the laws. There is the U.S. Department of Labor Fact Sheet 71 that has very specific guidelines as to whether or not you are able to offer an unpaid internship. So that's why we just always recommend paying your intern. It's a much more beneficial experience for the intern. Studies have shown that interns who have a paid experience are more likely to receive a higher wage after graduating college. So, and they're often more times see that experience as being more positive than a unpaid internship. So one of the things that, if you're kind of worried about how you're going to pay your intern, we offer this amazing program called Earn Indiana.
Yes, one of my favorite programs.
Yeah, it's really great. We facilitate the program in partnership with the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, and Earn Indiana, it provides employers who have really high quality internship experiences up to 50% reimbursement for hiring low-income Hoosier students. And a lot of employers, they think, maybe the pool of talent's really small for these eligible students. That's not the case. Over 100,000 students qualify for the program. So, chances are if you're connecting with some students who are from Indiana, they might qualify for Earn and you can get that 50% reimbursement.
If employers want to learn more about that, where do they go? What do they do?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about it, you can visit us at IndianaIntern.net. Right on our homepage, we have a landing page with information about Earn. You can always reach out to me. You can go to our contact us page and I can walk you through those steps as well. But to get started with Earn, it's super easy. You just make an account on Indiana INTERNnet. You post your internship, it'll ask you if you want to use Earn, yes or no. You say yes, and you fill out the application, and that's really it. All students who are on the website that are eligible have this little green banner that says Earn, so if they're
qualified.
So it's a great way to expand your program, to pay interns if you haven't been able to pay in the past, and to offer a really high quality experience.
Something you and I talked about before we started recording, you do some really cool recognition for businesses that have internships, but also for those internships. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so each year we host an awards. It's typically a luncheon, but with 2020, it's a little different this year. It's called the Impact Awards. And the Impact Awards is a way that we recognize statewide internship excellence. We celebrate the Intern of the Year, the Employer of the Year, Internship Supervisor of the Year, and Career Development Professional of the Year. And within those categories, we break them down, like Intern of the Year is separated from college, high school, and non-traditional intern. So you can recognize, all different interns at different levels. We are currently accepting nominations that you can submit on our website, IndianaIntern.net. Again, right on that home page, you'll see a link for Impact Awards. So you can submit as many nominations as you want. So if you have multiple interns you want to recognize, or your own company's internship program, you can do that as well. And this year we're actually going to be hosting the awards virtually. So it is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be held on February 23rd. So we're still, going to have really neat ways of recognizing those who are nominated and those winners. And we're really looking forward to it.
That's amazing. I love that there's recognition for internships and for the employers that do it. So in Wayne County, we know our internship levels are low. Our internship numbers are lower than other communities. First step, they contact INTERNnet, they get connected, they post their jobs. What can they expect? What's the turnaround time to starting from posting the job to starting the job?
Yeah, so I always tell employers you want to give yourself plenty of time to recruit. Kind of the issue that we run into with employers is that they think that it's similar to recruiting a part-time or full-time job. You know, you can post something and then that individual can give like a 2 weeks notice to their company and start right away. Well, that's really not the case with internships. You're working with students who are dealing with class schedules, extracurricular activities and things. So they kind of need to know a little bit of time to find the right opportunity. So, you know, I would tell employers, if you're thinking about recruiting for a summer opportunity, get those posted anywhere between Thanksgiving to, you know, right early January is when we see the best time for summer internships. And that way you can find, you know, top talent in that area.
Absolutely. So in our next segment, after you and I speak, we're going to hear from our current intern, Cliff Hazelbaker, who's going to talk about his experience as a high school intern, what he's learning. He already met the governor as part of his internship.
Wow.
So we're really excited to get to share his story. And we're going to talk a little bit about how he manages being a great tennis player for our local high school, a great student, but also working an additional 10 hours. And that's a lot to manage, and he's done a really great job. So stay tuned for that coming up next on Chamber Chat. Thank you, Allison, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Roxie Deer. Thanks for joining me for this Chamber Chat. So in the past session, in the last one that we just heard, you heard from Allison from Indiana Intern, and now you're going to get to hear from the high school intern that we talked about in that session, and this is Cliff Hazelbaker. Cliff, thanks for joining me.
Hello.
So why don't we start by having you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
I am Clifford Hazelbaker the fourth. I'm the son of Cliff Hazelbaker the third and Bridget Hazelbaker. I'm a senior at Richmond High School. I am captain of the tennis team. Our season just ended, and captain of the baseball team this year as well. I am planning on majoring in architectural engineering. I have applied to a lot of schools. My number one right now is Trine University for their engineering program, and I might play tennis there. I might not. I'm not 100% sure on it yet. I have two sisters, and I have a foster brother who's 4 years old. His name's Cashman. And yeah.
So you are joining us from Richmond High School, and we know things are a little crazy right now. We're even doing this interview via Zoom, but you've actually gotten to do your internship in person. You're here 2 days a week for 5 hours. Tell people like what it's like to be an intern in high school. How do you manage all of it?
Well, it's kind of like perfect with the way the year has gone because I'm in group one at the high school because we split up our groups because we're like code orange or whatever the COVID rules are this year for school. So I go on Mondays and Wednesdays and every other Friday. So this week is not my Friday, so I go next Friday. So I go on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 3 here, and that's the day I'm off at school. So I get my homework assigned because we get homework assigned every day that we're not in school on those Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I just do that right when I get done from the internship or right before. And then if I do need assistance, then Roxie and Melissa help me a little bit and tell me I can work on it for like an hour or two a year. So I do that, and it's been working great so far. I've been able to keep my grades up to a consistent what I've been doing. So that's been really great. And it's been kind of like a perfect scenario in total because it's like it keeps me busy and it's not like I'm wasting my time. I get to do something very productive and I get to meet a lot of great people doing this internship.
Yeah, so speaking of great people, 2 weeks ago before fall break, you got to go with us to a ribbon cutting, and it was a pretty big ribbon cutting. Tell us a little bit about who you met, what it was like. I know you got to rub shoulders with some big wigs in the community.
I got to meet Senator Ratz, and I also got to talk with Dave Snow. I've known him for a while because of Relay for Life. I've always known him my whole childhood, and then when he became mayor, I've always kept in touch with him. So then I talked with him for a little bit, and he introduced me into the governor of Indiana, Governor Holcomb. So I met him, and I got to talk to him for a couple minutes. We took a picture together, and I got to see this ribbon cutting at the steel tube company. So it was like and I didn't get to talk to them, but there were some people from Germany there that helped with the machinery that they brought over there. So I got to see those people, and I got to see the president of their company and the vice president of their company. So I got to meet a lot of big people from big name companies, and I got to see like how it goes down, and I gotta learn that they have a lot more locations, and I gotta learn that Indiana is a great place for businesses to start up right now because of our taxes and all that. So I gotta learn a lot of things just from the people on the stage talking about it, and then for me meeting people.
Absolutely. That was a great event to celebrate Richmond and the Wayne County community. Now, how did you get into the internship program? Are you in a special program at the high school, or did a principal pick you up and say, hey, we need you to do this internship?
Well, Denise Selm at the high school, I had been in BPA for the last 3 years, and this year nobody signed up for an internship, and I totally didn't think that we had it because of COVID. So she came up and talked to me. She said, I'd like you to be an internship this year. And I said, okay. And then she told me this one, and I immediately said yes, because my old friend Jake Miller, he is a big time golfer. He was here, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He told me how awesome it was. So right when I heard the opportunity, I came straight here, and I agreed with it. But for the first couple of weeks, we tried to do it where I did it online, and it was working a little bit. But you really do have to be in. And it works here because I have my own office. I get to have a mask. Everyone has mask on here. Hand sanitizer everywhere. So everything's working out great here, and it's a lot better in person because I've been able to do a lot more and a lot more meeting. We're planning on meeting with some Belden architectural engineers here soon. So yeah.
So when you think about your classmates, maybe people who are in younger grades, would you tell them to take an internship to start looking for one, or what have you learned about yourself during this internship?
Well, I learned a lot that in high schools, it's a lot of math and things that I feel like don't help you as much as you can get in the real world for your future. I feel like an internship really, really does help that. It's like those it's like kind of like those career classes, like where we have engineering, automotive. Those are classes that help you prepare for the future. And this is like a class that's times 10 where you actually to go out in the real world and experience it for yourself, hands on. So I think this is something that if you're planning on having a good career in your future, then I think an internship is a really, really a good option to take. And I think it's going to help you a lot succeed later on in life.
Absolutely. So we as a chamber have kind of become a champion of internships in the community. So if your business, if you're listening to this and you think our business could really benefit from having young students like Cliff in the office and working, and Cliff's got to do a lot of fun projects, you can always reach out to myself, to Melissa, to the chamber office, or even directly to the high schools and colleges to get internships. They love to set them up. They're great experiences. Cliff, you just got back from running some errands for the chamber. You're helping with Restaurant Week. Are there other projects or things that you're excited about or that you loved going to and attending?
I loved the barn at the helm. That was a great thing. There was a lot of people there. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually go to the event, but I helped set up for the couple hours before during my time that I was here. And just the people that were there and seeing how it was such a big event and how the chamber helped this barn at the helm get so many like people out to see their business. It just really was awesome to set up, and the barn at the helm was beautiful. It was awesome to help with the people who owned it were amazing people. So yeah, I just loved that one a lot.
You're involved in a lot of committees. You jump on all of our committee meetings when you're here. And so that's been a great opportunity too. You're seeing how we run meetings and how professionals do it in everyday life.
Yep.
So Cliff, thanks for joining us. We're so excited to have you here. But I think for the biggest thing is that today's entire episode of Chamber Chat is all about internships and how important they are to our community. Any last words you'd like to say to our audience?
I would greatly for other students, and not just for me, but for you guys to offer an internship, because it really is something to help people understand, something that'll help them in their future. And you never know, maybe later on in their life, they might come back to you and ask for a job, and maybe you guys will really enjoy them because they helped you a lot. So I think it'd just be a great opportunity for everyone to open up an internship spot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cliff. And you can join us Tuesday evenings, 8 p.m. right here on WETV Channel 20. Thanks and have a great night.